Hello and welcome to the channel Ginger Ninja's Movie Reviews. I am the Ginger Ninja and these are my movie reviews. If you're new to my channel, thank you very much for tuning in, stopping by and checking it out. It's truly appreciated and you've come in at an amazing time. Why, might you ask? Well, it's August and each month I do a theme. I try and tie something in, try and make it about something, and it's Awesome 80s August. That's right, I'm looking at films that came out in the 80s that I find are just, they've got a certain little bit of awesome to them. Maybe not so much, but some of them definitely do. And let's have a look. This week we're going to kick it off with Fright Night from 1985. But before we get into that, I do want to thank each and every one of my existing subscribers and of course my new subscribers. Thank you very much for joining me on this journey as we look at all these different films. It truly does mean the world to me and I do appreciate it. Thank you. So, that being said, Fright Night, 1985. This here is my Blu-ray copy here. Now you might be wondering why I've got this shitty background and not the Blu-ray. Well, the Blu-ray has no special features whatsoever. It is simply just the movie, no menu, just it. It goes straight into it. And obviously I can't play the movie in the background because then I get pinged for copyright. Again, not fun. But anyway. This movie came out in 1985. It's directed by Tom Holland. It stars William Ragsdale, Amandabearse, Roddy McDowall, Stephen Jeffries, and Chris Sarandon. I will be discussing plot specifics and spoilers. However, to be honest, this movie's already been remade, so you know, you've kind of seen either one or the other, and they're both pretty much the same. Different actors, but same idea. Now, the plot involves a teenager who believes that his new neighbour is a vampire. He turns to an aging actor hosting a horror television show to help deal with the undead. Yeah. Now, this movie does kick off straight away. It gets right into it, and it really doesn't let up. It's a fun, fast-paced movie, but I won't go too heavily into that. Let's have a look at the cast. So, Fright Night successfully portrays an array of really compelling characters. Charlie Brewster serves as the quintessential teenage protagonist, and William Ragsdale delivers a convincing portrayal, although he does look a bit too old to be a teenager. You know, but it kind of goes along with the feel of it. Casting older actors in teenage roles, it's something that's always been done, but he does capture the character's evolution and his vulnerability quite well. So, really great. Really did a good role in this. And I am actually surprised we didn't hear more from William Ragsdale, but yeah, what do I know? Chris Sarandon. He plays Jerry Dandridge, the neighbour, with remarkable charisma and menace. Perfect blend of both. He is not your typical vampire cliche. He exudes a modern charm and sophistication, and it makes him an appealing yet terrifying antagonist. His performance imbues the character with depth and complexity, and it keeps the audience both fascinated and fearful of him. Roddy McDowall, his portrayal as Peter Vincent, adds an interesting dynamic to the movie. The once beloved movie actor, now struggling in his career, his skepticism towards the supernatural, it sets up the opportunity for his own transformation throughout the film. And of course, we cannot leave out Amandabearse and Stephen Jeffries as Amy and Evil Ed. Ed is that quirky, wisecracking sidekick and adds a whole lot of humour to the mix. The interactions between both Charlie and Ed are, they're gold. You can't help but chuckle at some of the hilarious exchanges, and Stephen Jeffries was fantastic in this role. Now, the directing and writing. Now, Tom Holland, who also wrote the screenplay for this, has received a lot of praise for his direction of Fright Night. One of the film's strengths is that it does blend horror and humour really well, and it makes it appealing to a whole wide audience. His direction manages to maintain a good balance of scary and comedic moments without going too over the top. The experience is quite entertaining, and it really doesn't let up in the pacing either. Like I mentioned at the start, this movie gets right into it. It starts out with the introduction of Charlie and the neighbours moving in. There isn't a lot of getting to know the main character. You learn about the characters as the movie progresses, and that is helped with the pacing. Now, obviously it's an 80s film and it's a horror film, so you can have some special effects. Now, look, this is an 80s film, 1985, middle of the 80s, so you can't expect any of the fancy CGI that we have today, right? And that's a good thing. Let's be honest. Today's CGI, although it does have its place in a horror film, it stands out like dog's balls. If you're not aware, it's a saying in Australia. So there you have it. Stands out as like dog's balls. There you go. Look, honestly, the fact that it doesn't have the CGI and is all practical, it just adds to the charm of this film. And if you're wondering why I keep looking over my shoulder, this is going to turn off very soon. I don't know if there's a setting on there I can change. It just does. So if it does, yeah, whatevs. The practical effects can be a bit cheesy, but they do have a lot of charm to them, and they are done really well. I feel the impact of the special effects really does set it apart from recent fare, which just oozes CGI, you know. The vampire transformations are a mix of cool and campy, and the makeup department, the makeup effects, did a really good job, especially in that evolution of Jerry as his vampire, as he progresses. As each time you see him, he does look different. It's kind of like his vampire persona is evolving, and I think that just adds to the movie. Now, rewatchability is always going to be a tough one because this movie is, what's that? I don't know. You do the math. It was from 1985, so what's that? Yeah, I don't know. Who cares? It's a captivating and entertaining experience for horror fans of all ages. Like I said, it mixes humour and horror really well. Now, whether you're a vampire aficionado and you love vampire films, or you're simply looking for a fun and thrilling movie to add to your movie night, you can't really go past Fright Night. It's a must-watch for any horror enthusiast, or if you just like a bit of 80s charm. It blends horror and comedy, as I mentioned, and it's got that 80s charm, and it continues to resonate with myself and audiences in general, which is why it is such a cult classic. And it has really cemented its status as a classic, cult or timeless. So overall, there are some flaws with this film, but these are easily overlooked. Fright Night remains a quintessential horror comedy. It's stood the test of time. It's got, there it goes, told you. Let me just fix that. There we go. Anyway, it's got charismatic performances from the entire cast, which all do a fantastic job. It's got a well-crafted plot. It's got the perfect mix of horror and comedy without going too far on either side. It's captivating, it's entertaining, and it is an experience for horror fans of all ages. Overall, I would give Fright Night a 7 out of 10. It's a really good film. I really enjoy it. Now, I also did a review, I think it was through my ABCs of Horror for the original, not the original, the remake of Fright Night. Look, if you haven't checked it out, definitely check that out. It's well worth it, I think. It's one of my reviews, so of course I do. But yeah, look, if you haven't seen this movie, do check it out. Check out the remake as well. Weigh them both up. I actually think they're both good films in their own right. So yeah. Anyway, look, that's it for this review. What's coming up next week? Well, you'll have to tune in and find out. But if you haven't already, do give this video a thumbs up. Be much appreciated. Helps with that whole YouTube algorithm thing. Of course, if you have not already, subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so that way you will be notified every time I do release a new video. And have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.